Hello guys and welcome to tomsportsjournal.com. Now following on from last week's interview with new Ashton Town manager and former professional footballer Glyn Hurst, this evening I'm joined by GKN co-founder and FC United of Manchester's latest signing, Ollie Martin. Good evening, Ollie. I hope you're keeping well during these testing times that we're faced with during lockdown and the coronavirus pandemic.
Hi mate, no, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure as always. Yeah, it's a crazy time at the minute. It's been about 8 weeks now or so. So it's, it starts to feel a bit normal, which is a bit weird. But obviously with what has come from the government recently, it sounds like it's going to be relaxed a little bit. So we just have to see how everyone deals with it. But personally, I've been all right with it. I'm still working, fortunately enough. So the majority of my day is taken up as it is. You know, it's just getting the exercise in, as and when you can to free your spare time up, really.
The news came out a few weeks ago in regards to your move to FC United of Manchester. Sometime after you parted company with Radcliffe, just how did the move really come about?
It's a funny one really, because I've spoke to Neil sort of previously, and we've got sort of mutual friends with like Gaz Lazenby and obviously Tunde as well. So as soon as it was announced that I was leaving Radcliffe, it was pretty much one of the first phone calls I got. Like I say, Gary put me in touch with Neil, and it was quite an easy conversation really. But no, really happy to have signed. Waiting to hear when we're going back really, because I'm excited for it.
I think it also helps if you look at the performances you put in last season. You played FC United a fair amount of times in cups and league appearances. Now you put in some real shifts in those games, which looking back, you're pleased with those performances against FC.
Yeah, it's. I think we played them 4 times last year. It might have been more. Certainly felt like it. But every game that we played was a good game. I think the first game it was 1-1. I can't really remember the middle two, and then obviously we got beat on New Year's Day at Broadhurst. But it was they're the games that you got to play in. In front of the crowds that FC bring. They're the games that you're excited for, and they're a bit of a spectacle to play in, really. I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping the performances were decent in them. But now I'm happy to be playing at Broadhurst every other week.
A very well organised outfit, and not just on the pitch, but off the pitch. Obviously Broadhurst Park is fantastic to be a part of. Over 2,000 fans every single week, and not just that, the excellent facilities that are there, of a fan-owned club. It must be really good to be a part of. I mentioned the well-organised as a team. They really are. And obviously Tunde scoring all those goals last season, but not just from an attacking point of view at the back. You've got 4 really good defenders in front of you when you finally get underway.
Yeah, looking at the development of the club, I remember when they first moved into the stadium, back when I was playing for New Mills, sort of towards the latter end of the season. I went down to FC United for keeper training because we didn't have a keeper coach at New Mills, and I know Chappie, the FC United keeper coach. I've known him ever since I was 11. Since the first time I put on a pair of gloves, he was like one of my first keeper coaches. So he invited me down. Obviously, they train at the ground on the AstroTurf beside it, and you go and you see the stadium, and when you're used to sort of your normal non-league side, it is a stadium that you're playing at. But no, it's good to be a part of that. And it's like I say, I can't wait for the season to come around for it.
So in terms of the previous campaign, Ollie, FC United enjoyed a fantastic season, placed second in the Northern Premier League prior to the coronavirus pandemic, which culminated in the season being scrapped. Much to the frustration of teams like South Shields, who were 12 points clear at the top of the league. You must be really looking forward to next season and teaming up with Tunde Owolabi for a 3rd time now. What a season he's had, by the way, scoring 35 goals in 41 appearances, which is some record.
Yeah, you know what, with Tunde, I played with him at New Mills. I was when I first saw him, and you know he wasn't really getting the chances that he deserved, really. You know, it shows with the management at Radcliffe last year, or the 18-19 season with him. You know, that really sort of pushed him on, and that set his benchmark, which, to be fair to him, he's smashed. He's gone up another level, and he's smashed his goals to bits. You know, so he's a good lad, Sunday. I can't wait to be playing with him again. Obviously, it is a bit gutting with what happened with the cancellation of the league. You know, you would have said that FC were probably favourites for the playoffs.
Yeah.
South Shields, obviously 12 points clear, speaks for itself. They're a great team. They do deserve to win the league. But you know, as it is, we're all in the same league again next year. So you know, it's a fresh slate, and hopefully, you know, we can really push on and you know challenge for top spot.
Yeah, quickly on Sunday again. Obviously, last season you was with him there at Radcliffe. He scored, I think it was 26 goals in the last campaign, and then moving to FC, it was a bit of a last minute move. He was supposed to be going abroad playing football, and then all of a sudden Renault comes in at the airport of all places to call him in and sign him to FC. And he didn't really hit the ground running at first. He took a few games to settle into the squad and where he was playing on the pitch and life at FC, but he really has played excellently. I remember the game against Buxton where he scored 5 in a 7-0 win at Broadhurst Park.
Yeah, he you know, he left Radcliffe. He went and signed for a club in Malta. I don't think he really enjoyed it there. I think he was sort of missing time with his family. So obviously he's come back. Renault's sort of had the call for him that he's at the airport. So they've done really well to get him signed up, because there's no doubt he would have had a lot of offers on the table.
Yeah.
But I imagine he would have seen, you know, what he's going to be playing in front of, what sort of, you know, projects as such he's going to be a part of, and you know, you don't really need selling the club because you can see what it is. You know, he's a testament to himself, really. He's you look at him, the player that he is now compared to the player that he was when he was first at FC in the reserves, or when he was at New Mills, and he's stronger, he's faster, he's more sort of clued up on his football IQ. His finishing's improved. The stats speak for themselves. So you know, I feel like next season is going to be another successful one for him. You know, so we'll see how he goes.
Obviously, it was a step up in calibre moving to FC United. No offence to obviously Radcliffe last season, but there was a lot of pressure there because there were players coming in and out. And Renault even said, in fact, I interviewed him after the Warrington defeat in the FA Cup, and he said, "I'm not afraid to rest anybody. Nobody's place is guaranteed." So is that pressure on him? Has that turned him into a better player, knowing that he needs to perform week in, week out to keep his shirt?
Well, it sort of lies with his season at Radcliffe for a start, because he wasn't the sort of solid number 9 or number 10. Like we had quite a bit of rotation with Tunde. So I think he's used that, and he's relished the opportunity to be, you know, almost like the talisman for FC United. And at the end of the day, if he's scoring goals, you can't complain with that. That was the same for us at Radcliffe last year. You know, I always just say to him, if you know, even if you played the last 10 minutes, if you score in that last 10 minutes, it's still going to say Tunde Olawabi, 1 goal. It's not, you know, no one's going to be bothered about the minutes you play, and at least you score. So I feel like he's used that and he's channeled that, and he's really stepped up his game for the season that's just gone. And you know, his goals speak for himself. He looks a different player on the pitch.
So, of course, prior to joining FC United a few weeks ago, you represented Radcliffe for a number of years. Just how have you found this season at the club, playing at a higher level, obviously with promotion last season and with developments off the pitch? It's been a real eye-opener for you, I expect, with positives and negatives looking back.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the step up. It was obviously it was unbelievable to be a part of the promotion and that season. And I like I said, I've enjoyed the challenge of stepping up as a sort of number one keeper. That was my first season at this higher level. I've played for Stalybridge in the past, but I was a number two keeper. So I've really enjoyed it. I'm quite happy with my performances. I thought I did quite well. For the club, I think mid-table was probably about right for the team performances. We weren't perfect every week. We obviously went on a very good, like a 10 or 11 game run, which catapulted us right up to within potentially 5 points or 4 points of South Shields. But it was a good season for the club. I understand people have ambitions to sort of go back to back with promotions, but the clubs in that league again for next season, and obviously I wish them all the best. I've got nothing bad to say about the club. I really wish them all the best.
Now, obviously, you're back to the Nantwich Town game where you produced that fantastic double save after a penalty save. Just how did that feel?
It's a bit dubious. Carl Gogan seems to think that he blocked the second one, but we'll leave that one be. But no, that was for me personally. That was a sort of a big turning point in my season. I'd had not like a jittery start, but I was just sort of getting used to the league. But that penalty save for me really kick-started my season. That was the boost that I needed. We save the pen and then we go up and score and we win 1-0. You literally can't get any better than that. But yeah, that's one of my standout memories from the season.
So you must have had some great memories at Radcliffe all in all, particularly the season before last, winning promotion in a very successful period for the football club. A group of players that really brought the best out of each other. Obviously, Ben Wharton, Scott Metcalfe, Sunday. A great team there at Radcliffe last year.
Yeah, it was. From the very start. I mean, I don't think we won that many games in pre-season. If we did, they were sort of snap grab. They weren't the ones that we'd hoped for. But then we started the season like a house on fire. We flew up to the top. It was us and Runcorn for a bit, I think, up there. And then around December, January, we had a bit of a blip, and that in hindsight we needed that sort of wake up call that we weren't running away with the league at all. Everton picked up their points, and then we did the double over Everton. The second game being one of the best sort of moments in football, one of the best games I've been involved with, and even though Everton went and won the league as they fully deserved, we got beat off teams who we shouldn't have got beat by, and Everton walked over them. But they won the league. We went up in the playoffs. Personally, I love going up. I love playing in the final. That feeling at the occasion, I don't think you can really match that. I've never won a league, so I won't know. But hopefully this season I get to taste a bit of that. But we'll see.
It must have been a mixture of emotions, both up and down, especially the back end of the season. I remember the defeat at Colne. I know all the lads were really disappointed after that, because I think that night, that's when you knew that you'd need to do it via the playoffs, probably. And to do it via the playoffs, and even after the game, when you won the game, it wasn't sure whether or not it'd be enough to seal promotion.
Yeah, I can't fully remember which game it was where we dropped points. I know we obviously got beat by Colne. We drew with Colne earlier on in the season, so we knew that they were a good team. It was always going to be tough going there. I think it was on a Tuesday night to Colne. It's never easy going there. They deserved it on the night. We didn't take chances, and that's how football is. I think I can't remember the game that it was, but at the end, going to Chasetown, the team knew that they could have done it. But at the end of the day, we were setting the playoffs. We were focused on the playoffs, and I feel like the performances against Ramsbottom and against Leek sort of showed that we had the mentality to not let it get you down that we weren't champions, but we mustered it that we'd go up in the playoffs.
I mentioned the likes of Ben Wharton, Scott Metcalf, Sunday, with many of the lads from that season moving on to other clubs and new challenges in their careers. Will you be keeping an eye on their progress, whichever club they choose to go next season?
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully Sunday stays with FC. It's got a great lads, all the lads who have played with at Radcliffe. We're good friends. We still speak now. Ben still has his PT sessions on Zoom. He's trying to keep us all fit still. But yeah, no, definitely we're all good mates. We'll all still go for a beer together. We'll all still meet up. But yeah, I would definitely be keeping an eye out on most of the lads with results. And to be fair, I'll be playing against them, most of them for next season.
So just explain to us, Ollie, what was it like to work under the likes of John Macken and Frank Sinclair? Two massive names in the football world, and I expect it was a tough challenge for them as well. But the relationship that the players had with John and Frank from when they came across as watertight. It was a really good relationship with the players and the management team.
Yeah, it's it's not just John and Frank. It's the whole coaching team that they have behind them. I think with their playing history, that sort of commanded a bit of a certain type of respect. It's they're the type of people that you want to play for at the end of the day. They tell you when you're right, they praise you, and then they'll try and improve you when you're wrong and when you've made a mistake. But at the end of the day, that's football, that's management. As people, I still speak to them both. Still in contact with them both, with all the coaching staff who are involved with us. Hopefully they both sort of land jobs sooner rather than later, and I wish them all the very best with it. But to play under them, it's something that I'll remember and I'll cherish for the messages that they passed on.
Now let's move on to GK on the Goalkeeping Network, a company which you co-own alongside Warrington Town goalkeeping coach Chris Kiernan, former Mossley goalkeeping coach Chris Appleton. The company has really grown massively since its inception. Could you tell the viewers a bit more about GKN and what the Goalkeeping Network is all about?
Yeah, so we started in 2017. Essentially, it was meant to be a platform for grassroots goalkeepers and goalkeeper coaches to provide realistic content for them. So whether that's training drills, whether that's advice and whatnot. That grew as our WhatsApp groups grew. We started off with 3 keepers in it, and now we've got over 250 in both the players one and the coaches one. So along the way, we've evolved. We've become the company that tries to connect keepers with clubs. We try and advertise keepers. We try and advertise coaches, clubs. And obviously the stuff that you'll see, like the main content comes from the glove that we provide as well. I think we had about 8 keepers, 9, 10 keepers in the NPL last year, signed wearing the gloves. They're popping up left, right and centre all over the grassroots. We're trying to get them into the professional game. We've got a lad who's a professional at Norwich City, Joe Rose in our gloves. Cam Mason, who's the Curzon Ashton goalkeeper, just to name a couple. But really, we've gone from strength to strength. And when you get the likes of Tim Dittner, who's the head of goalkeeping for the FA in England, when he's asking to, get us involved with a CPD for professional coaches, it really sort of like takes your breath away. That's how far we've come in 3 years. So no, it's been a bit of a roller coaster with GKM, but hopefully we can just keep on growing.
So with that progression, as you just spoke about, in just a couple of years, in say 8 or 10 years' time, where do you see the GKN building to?
Who knows, really? The sky's the limit with it. There's so much we can do with it. There's so many ideas that we've got. Ideally, I won't be full time with it. You know, I'd love
Yeah.
to have I'd love to have an academy set up for the GKN. You know, and I'd love to be involved with that. Who knows where it goes? I think we just take it. We stay planted. We take it one day at a time, one Saturday at a time, and we push on from there.
Yeah, I know that Chris Kiernan does some great work away from Warrington Town. He does do some coaching with the kids, especially I think it's the Manchester United under-8s keeper that he's working with at the minute as well.
Yeah, George Meachin is he's some keeper. When he first went to Chris sent me this video. He's like, you need to see this keeper. He's you know he's a young lad and he's unbelievable. I was like, what? He's 8 years old. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And he showed me some of the clips, and he is a very good keeper. And he's going to be, if he sticks with it, he's going to be some keeper when he's older.
Yeah, I mentioned the keepers that you've got in the ranks there at GK, and obviously Sam Ashton as well, former Bolton Wanderers goalkeeper. He's an ambassador for GKN. Shane Bland has recently signed a new contract as well with the GKN this week. So there's some big names there, and as you say, in a couple of years' time, more to follow.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we take pride in the keepers that represent the brand. We've got a few more keepers who are wanting to get involved. You know, we're obviously approaching keepers to try and represent the brand as well, because you're not just representing, you know, the clubs, you're representing what we stand for, you know, where we come from, and what we want to try and build. And we want our endorsees to get involved with it. We want them to promote with us, get involved with the stuff that we do. But like I said, they're all great lads. They all buy into the GKN, and that's the important thing for me, is that you buy into the stuff that you're associated with.
So in terms of your progression and your development, Ollie, sort of where did goalkeeping all start for you? Of course, you've represented the likes of New Mills, Radcliffe, and now FC United. But when did you make the decision to take up the sport at a serious level? Did you play outfield, or was goalkeeping? It was always goalkeeping for you.
It was. I think I played. You know, I went to sort of like mini football tournaments as a little kid. But I was an outfielder. I wasn't a very good one. So I wouldn't even get in the C team in school. So it was just going into my final year of primary school. I went to watch Stockport County, and the keeper who was playing then was James Spencer, and I was just like, you know, I want to do that. So on the way back, I remember it was Stockport County against Chester away. And I remember on the way back, we stopped off at the JJB, got some keeper gloves, and just went on the field and started going in net a bit. Tried out for the school team, and I was in. So I figured, as you know, I couldn't get in the C team as an outfielder, so I'll try out for the A team, and I get in. From that, I met Paul Chapman, who's the keeper coach at FC, and you know, we went from there really. You know, bounced around a couple of professional teams in the academies, and then you know, my career sort of went from there really.
Football, like any sport, Ollie, is all about confidence, isn't it? Do you think, obviously, looking at your development from when you were at New Mills to where you're at the moment, do you feel that your career has progressed gradually as time's gone by?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the season that I had at New Mills, the first one, it wasn't the best season for the club. It got quite a bit of publicity, but we won't talk about that. But it was a tough test of character for a lot of people. This was my first sort of full season as a number one keeper, and it was the you know, I got chucked in at the deep end, and I stuck with it. Obviously, I signed again for New Mills the following season to give it another go. But then from there, I felt like I had to try and push on in my career. And you know, now I'm playing at the highest level I have as a number one. So it's it's been a gradual progression, but I'm really happy with the results that I'm getting.
So have you got any advice for any young goalkeepers who are playing non-league football and looking to up it to the next level? Any advice for any keepers wanting to take up the game as well?
it's all about confidence. It's all about confidence and playing games. You know, I could have gone and sat on the bench at a team higher up than New Mills. Fortunately, New Mills were good enough to have me down and get me playing. And you know, I've never looked back since then. Really, you know, playing games is the thing that gives you the confidence. It's the thing that gets you motivated on a Saturday. And I feel like if you're not playing at a club, you know, go and look for an opportunity somewhere else. It's the only thing that's going to improve is if you're playing games. You can't. Sorry, the NHS thing's on now.
And also self-belief. You played under the guidance of Des Christie at Radcliffe. I know he was very influential on your career, not just at Radcliffe, but putting you in that position where you are now, really.
Yeah, he's a great man, Des. You know, when I first met him, he was welcoming. You know, he set out his stall straight away, told me what we were going to work on, and you know, he's put his arm around me when I needed it. And I'll always thank him for that. He was a massive part in the team's promotion, not just my performances across the 2 seasons, but he was a massive character in the changing room. You know, loved by everyone, and you know, I've no doubt he's going to be a success whichever club he's involved with. He looks after one of our endorsees, Jordan Gidley, at Squires Gate at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan says nothing but praise for him, and the same with Des for Jordan. But you know, Des is a great man, and like I say, he'll do well wherever he is.
So Ollie Martin, it's been great speaking to you this evening, and I wish you all the best for the new season when it gets underway, and all the stuff with GKN you're doing. It's fantastic, and to see the growth of it is really good on social media.
Thank you very much, mate. It's I'll always say it's a pleasure to speak with you. Keep up with the good work with Presswich as well. I know you've got Dan Vinton chewing your ear off every
I didn't
every
think
2
we could hold
days,
up a conversation without giving Dan a mention.
he'll be smiling off that one. But no, he's a great lad. It's a great club, Presswich. You know, I played against him a few times. I know a lot of people who were there. You know, Joe Rothwell's a great young prospect. You know, I hope he has another great season. Just to add to his CV for it.
Yeah, it's been a final note there. It's been a bit of a tough time for all the non-league clubs. The season's pretty much been scrapped. I mentioned South Shields. They were 12 points clear at the top of the NPL last season. They must be feeling really hard done by, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch, the financial gain they would have had. But not just them. You look at all the other, the higher up the spectrum as well. It could have gone to potentially a points per game. It's a bit sad to see it just be scrapped completely and all the seasons voided.
It is, you know, you have got to feel sorry for the likes of South Shields, and I think Vauxhall Motors were already promoted, the same as Jersey Bulls. You know, that's gutting. 1874 North, which were, I think, on course to win the league as well. So you know, there's a lot of clubs that are going to be relieved that it's been null and voided, but there's a lot of clubs that aren't going to be happy. It is unfortunate. It's and no one could have predicted. You know, what's gone on with coronavirus. Hopefully it gets sorted and it doesn't do it again next year. But you know, wish all the best to the clubs who should have gone up. You know, hope to see them all challenging again.
So Ollie, it's been great speaking to you, and I'll make sure I get that $5 off Dan Vincent for giving him a mention there.
Top man, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, pal.